I'm here to talk to you about the upcoming Advanced Education Symposium. My course is going to be covering direct bonding. It's a hands-on course. Do you ever have trouble creating anterior restorations that look natural and blend really well with a natural dentition? If you've ever had trouble doing that, my course is going to cover this subject in depth. I'm going to give you some simple techniques to kind of conquer the barriers that keep people from using direct restored material as a routine option for their patients. You know, many people just kind of give that up after they leave dental school or maybe after they finish getting accredited or even fellowed. I like to have that in my sort of bag of tricks for patients, and especially in the economy that we're in right now, doing direct restorations can be a real boom to your practice, and it actually makes you a better dentist. The course that I am going to cover starts with a short presentation and then goes straight into the hands-on portion. The first concept I'm going to cover is going to talk about smile design. We're going to cover some basic concepts, but also we're going to go into depth a little bit about how I'm using Christian Coachman's techniques for digital smile design to kind of look at contours and shapes and see where we need to go with the case. Having a roadmap is essential to being efficient with predictable outcomes. I think the next thing about building a tooth, for me, the next thing about understanding how to make a tooth look natural is think about how nature builds it, or if you believe in God, how God created the tooth. Having dentin on the inside and enamel on the outside, just using simple opacity changes of the composite material can help you create extremely beautiful polychromatic restorations. You don't really need to get into a lot of tinting and modifiers to get a beautiful result. You can keep it really simple, and you can follow the concepts or use the concepts I'm going to teach with any system on the market. My goal is to share some simple techniques to create these beautiful restorations. One example is how I make my reduction guides. I make reduction guides using bite registration material. If you've never seen me do this, it's worth watching the course just for that. A lot of people use putty and hand mix the putty and try to hold it in place up there. That's easy to do on a Type-It-On or a study model, but try to do that in the mouth. It's a little different. I'm going to show you how to use bite registration material to quickly create super accurate, easy to use reduction guides, and it's a great technique. It's just one of the ways that I have taken my dentistry chairside and made it predictable and fast and efficient. When it comes to creating natural looking teeth, it really comes down to one thing for me. It's about line angles. Creating accurate primary shape, outline, contour, and anatomy is 90% of the battle. If you can cover those areas, you're going to have a tooth that looks pretty good. We're going to cover this subject thoroughly in the hands-on and show examples during the case. This concept is paramount to passing accreditation or just making beautiful teeth in your practice. You've got to understand contour, line angles, and just primary anatomy. You don't have to worry about the other, secondary and tertiary anatomy as much. The primary contour and anatomy is super important. I'll give you one hint about that concept. Your shade can be slightly off. And what I mean by that is you can be a little bit off in your shade, maybe a quarter shade too light or too dark. And if the contour and primary anatomy is solid, it's not going to matter. It's going to look great. So really understanding those concepts is really what's going to take your dentistry to the next level. It's also important for your porcelain and ceramic dentistry. If you don't understand the concept of line angles, you get cases back from your lab and you wonder why things don't look right. And I'm telling you, it's about the contour and anatomy and line angles. And some of your lab ceramists are good, but they don't even get that fully. So being able to work together with your lab ceramists, talk at their level, is really going to improve your dentistry. And direct restorative techniques really tie into ceramic in that way. That's one of the reasons we have direct cases in the accreditation process, to help dentists understand how to build things and how to make things look right, and that allows you to evaluate your ceramics much better. Lastly, we're going to cover a unique polishing technique that's simple, fast, and predictable. I've always believed in trying to streamline my dentistry, And one of the things I do is I create a very simple technique for polishing and finishing. I'm going to be using some new modern materials in Armamentarium and show you how to create a beautiful polish and luster and finish that looks great, but also helps make the restoration last longer, resist stain and surface breakdown. So basically we're going to cover all those concepts. It's going to be a really fun course. I have a really neat presentation that's widescreen, not a lot of references and documentation, just clinical dentistry. That's what we're going to cover. I hope you can tell I have a passionate excitement for direct restorations. I've been teaching this for quite a while, and I use it every day in my practice. I look forward to seeing you in October. So let's get together and have some fun. Thanks. I'm John Weston, accredited member, accredited fellow of American Academy of Cosmetic Dentistry. Thanks.